Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. So, going to get right into it. I do have some updates about yesterday's NPM attack, which was quite literally an attack on the entire crypto space, and it affected basically every crypto wallet, or it had the potential to affect every crypto wallet. And I'll kind of go over again a little bit what happened. We do have some more details about how it happened. I'll give you the update as far as who was affected, what I'm doing next, and the next steps that you might want to take to make sure that you're secure moving forward. Of course, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will get to them after we go over everything that happened. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So, very briefly, sort of what happened yesterday. This is Ledger's Chief Technology Officer. His name is Charles. And I got to give a shout out to Charles again because he is the one that really made this post go viral. It was seen over, I want to say, like 4 million times or by 4 million different people, which is super important considering the scale at which this attack progressed. So basically, to keep it short and sweet, there is this code that a lot of software developers use. That code was basically injected with malicious code or bad code, and that malicious code, if developers used it and implemented it into their software, it had the ability to silently swap your crypto address on the fly during a transaction to basically switch the address to the hacker's address. If you were sending crypto, then you might send it to the wrong address. He went on to say that if you use a hardware wallet, pay attention to every transaction before signing, and you'll be safe. He also said if you don't use a hardware wallet, refrain from making any on-chain transactions for now. On-chain transactions. And then he ended it with, it's still unclear whether the attacker is also stealing seed phrases from software wallets directly at this stage. Let's see. Sounds like I need an audio check here. Double check. All right, let me know if the audio sounds better. Here we go. Test. Okay. Is that still bad? Okay, can you hear me now? This is better? Okay, cool. All right, let me restart this in. Again, just quick overview of what happened. Do I still sound okay? Okay. All right, so anyways, yesterday there was a large supply chain attack. It affected a lot of people. And basically what this malware did was it swapped out They had the potential to swap out the real address that you're sending crypto to for a fake address or the hacker's address. And again, Charles said if you're using a hardware wallet, refrain from making any on-chain transactions. Or sorry, if you're using a hardware wallet, it's safe to use as long as you're checking your transactions. If you're not using a hardware wallet, then you should stop making transactions. And it was unclear whether the hacker was also stealing seed phrases. So this is the actual code that was basically hijacked. And these are different packages that developers use in their in certain apps and web extensions. And you can see how many times like each package is downloaded per week. And in general, these packages have over 2 billion downloads per week. The affected code was downloaded over 1 billion times by developers, basically. Now, the attack vector, like how this entire thing started, was through a phishing email. Basically, the hackers sent out an email requesting someone to update their 2FA, and they ended up gaining access and compromising the code. Okay, so here's the update. This is what everyone came for. This was posted about 7 hours ago. Again, Charles, the CEO, said, update on the NPM attack. The attack fortunately failed. Now, that's with there is some caveat to that. I would say it was a major failure. However, that doesn't mean that it didn't come without risk and that people weren't affected. As he said, with almost no victims. It began with a phishing email from a fake NPM support domain that stole credentials and gave attackers access to publish malicious package updates. The injected code targeted web crypto activity. So a lot of people were telling me that it wasn't crypto specific. The attack was indeed crypto specific. Charles went on to say the attackers' mistakes caused crashes in CI and CD pipelines, just some nerd talk, which led to early detection and limited impact. Still, this is a clear reminder, if your funds sit in a software wallet or on an exchange, you're one code execution away from literally losing everything. Supply chain compromises remain a powerful malware delivery vector, and we're seeing more targeted attacks emerge. Now, hardware wallets are built to withstand these threats. Features like clear signing, which is offered on various hardware wallets like Ledger, let you confirm exactly what's happening and checks the transaction and flags it for suspicious activity before you actually sign the transaction. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, here's the bad news. Charles went on to say the immediate danger may have passed. So this specific attack might not be as big of a threat as we thought it was, but the threat never passes. As crypto starts to take off, if we do see an October, when everything starts to go green, I expect to see a lot more attacks, not just attacks on individuals, not just scammers contacting you, but attacks on large companies. I'm talking major tier one crypto exchanges, crypto wallets. Of course, they're going to try to attack or compromise cold wallets, things like that. But that's the bad news, is that it's only going to get worse. This isn't going away. So just be aware of that. Now, this is interesting. So this right here, I just took the screenshot before I started the live stream. This is the wallet of the actual attacker. Now, as you can see, they only got away with $505. So they got some Gondola, some Brett, some Dorky, basically a bunch of meme coins, some Solana, and then some other stuff. That's literally all that this attack got. So I would say that it was a huge fumble on the attacker's end. That said, this website that I use, I guess I found this on Twitter, but someone set up the wallet address so people could track it. It is still, there is still some money coming in. So this is still affecting some people. I don't know which specific, software people are using that are getting affected by this. But I will cover, as far as we know, what's safe here in a bit. But yeah, $505 for such a large scale attack is a massive failure. So that's the good news. And here just a close up again of kind of the coins that they got or the tokens they got. And yeah. Okay, so what's next? Like Charles said, this is a clear reminder. If your funds sit in a software wallet means anything like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Exodus, Coinbase Wallet, Phantom. Those are all software wallets. Or on an exchange, again, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Crypto.com, even things like Robinhood. You're one code execution away from losing everything, and that's because all of those platforms and all these apps can be compromised and they can be changed in the back end without you actually knowing. So when you sign a transaction, you could be signing a malicious transaction and it's going to be harder to detect versus if you're using a dedicated cold wallet. And again, those aren't my words. Those are Charles' words. Charles, I would say, he is a security expert. He's been in the crypto security space for a long time. So he does know what he's talking about. Now, the real question is that a lot of people are wondering, is it still safe? Like I said, it seems like some people, a very small number of people, are still affected because there is still money inflowing into the hacker's wallet. Again, since yesterday, he's only been able to steal about $500, or the group or whoever it is. But so far, all cold wallets are clear to use. So whether you're using Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, OneKey, whatever it may be, you're good to go. Of course, always double check your transactions. And most popular software wallets actually cleared their name yesterday and announced that they weren't affected by this. That includes MetaMask, Phantom, Trust Wallet. Most of the popular wallets that all of us use already cleared their name and confirmed they were not affected by this attack. And exchanges are clear to use as well. So for all of you who are waiting to transact, hopefully to get your crypto to your cold wallet, you should be safe to do so. Of course, always double check your transaction as much as possible. Verify that the address you're sending to is the correct address. Check every single character. Don't just check the last four or the first four, because hackers do have the ability to modify the beginning and end of their receiving addresses to make it look like your address. So you do want to be extremely cautious moving forward, especially in this last quarter, Q4 of 2025, when we should expect to see many, many attacks and hacks. Now, this is what I'm personally doing. I will resume transacting today. I feel comfortable doing so. I do have some crypto that I'll probably send to an exchange and cash out. I'm also doubling down on my operational security. And really what that looks like is I'm moving any of my remaining crypto that I have in my hot wallets to my cold wallets. So I never recommend keeping crypto on a crypto exchange for obvious reasons. And as far as keeping them in a hot wallet or a software wallet, again, not something you want to do. I do have smaller amounts in certain software wallets because I do leave some in there just as liquidity when I want to buy like a meme coin or something that's not available on an exchange. But for now, I'm just going to put everything into my cold wallets. Again, it was a very small percentage that I have in hot wallets, but going to move those over to cold wallet, make sure everything is locked down. Now, I will caution you to proceed with caution. Double check every transaction. Use a cold wallet for as much of your transactions as possible, and avoid blind signing transactions as much as possible. And if you don't know what blind signing is, it's signing a crypto transaction without knowing the full details of the transaction. And blind signing, you'll know what it is when it pops up, because it'll pop up like a big instead of showing you what you're signing, like you are sending this amount of crypto to this address, it just shows you like a big wall of cryptographic code, a bunch of random characters that you probably have no idea what it's saying. And when that pops up, you don't actually know what you're signing. So using a wallet like Ledger that has clear signing, or even Tangem that has that actually takes a transaction and tells you what it will look like, what you're signing offline before you actually sign it on chain, is probably the best move that you can make. That said, I say use a cold wallet for most transactions. That doesn't mean connect your wallet to random websites and start transacting on them. You want to keep your cold wallet cold And the way you do that is by not connecting it to random websites and signing transaction approvals, because you could also sign a malicious transaction and then give hackers access to your crypto that way. And yeah, to be clear, this is not over. This is not the first time that this has happened, and it will not be the last time. I mean, we've been seeing major crypto heists and various hacks and scams since 2011, shortly after Bitcoin was published. One of the first major attacks was a Bitcoin Talk forum user who downloaded a malware onto his computer, and he had his keys saved on his computer in an encrypted file. And that encrypted file was compromised because of the malware. And that user lost 25,000 Bitcoin, not $25,000, but 25,000 Bitcoin. And that was 2011. And since 2011, over $100 billion worth of Bitcoin alone has been lost, mainly due to crypto exchange hacks, bad actors at crypto exchanges, and then hot wallet hacks as well. So we've known this for years. Nothing has changed. The main target for hackers are always crypto exchanges and hot wallets. And the reason is they go hand in hand. A lot of crypto exchanges still utilize hot wallets to store at least some of their funds. Mainly the funds that are used for daily trades are stored on hot wallets. So these massive crypto exchanges that you think you can trust, that you think are secure, they're probably not as secure as you think. And this has been proven time and time again over the last 14 years. And that's why cold wallets were created in the first place. So, and that's why I say storing your crypto anywhere other than a cold wallet has proven to be a massive risk. So expect more targeted attacks on exchanges, spelled that wrong there, and on your wallets. Another attack that I mentioned in yesterday's live stream doesn't have to do with this NPM attack. This is a separate targeted attack on this crypto YouTuber. I don't know much about him, but his name is Alex Choy, and he posted on Twitter 3 days ago now that his wallet was hacked, and he got drained for $996,000. Basically, he got in contact, or someone reached out to him pretending to be a some kind of crypto project that wanted to partner with them. So he jumped on a few calls with them. On one of the calls, they ended up somehow putting malicious malware onto his device, his computer, and his computer was compromised, and so was his crypto wallet. Do you know why? Because he was using a software wallet to store $1 million. If he had that on a cold wallet, that wouldn't have happened. And this is someone who claims, and who maybe does know, is very knowledgeable in the crypto space. It's really that easy. I mean, the most knowledgeable people still get compromised all the time. And every attack that I've seen has always been because they have their crypto either on an exchange or in a hot wallet. And then he basically said the lesson that Alex said the lesson that he learned is that you can't skim the surface in crypto, regardless of what mutuals you have. You always need to do your own research. So basically, this just goes back to the obvious: you can't trust anyone. And these kind of attacks that like Alex experienced, it's not just influencers or YouTubers who need to be aware of this, because there are a lot of fake customer support channels who will reach out to you, and they will happily jump on a video call with you or a phone call, and they can do the same thing. They can use social engineering to get you to, reveal your seed phrase, which if you watch this channel, you would never want to reveal your seed phrase. Or they could download some kind of malicious malware onto your computer, like what happened with Alex. Or they could also request remote access to your computer and, transact on your behalf if you unlock your wallet. So ultimately, it all goes back by this can all be solved by using a cold wallet. Get your crypto on a cold wallet. That said, I saw someone in the comments asking if I had a discount for Ledger. I don't have a discount, but today is the last day of this massive deal that they're running, which you get $80 in free Bitcoin when you buy a Ledger wallet. And there are 4 models you can choose from. They're all equally secure. I just want to make that clear. So whether you get their most affordable model or the most premium one, they're all equally secure. And Ledger's CTO is the one who originally announced this attack that happened yesterday. So That's kind of why, I'm saying Ledger is a good option for you. Again, here's a deal that you get. This deal ends tonight. If you buy the Ledger Nano S Plus, you get $10 in free Bitcoin. If you buy the Nano X, you get you get $50 in free Bitcoin. The Flex, you get 70, and the Stacks, you get 80. And the deal, the link to this deal is in the description of this live stream if you want to take advantage of it. So yeah, again, the S Plus is just as secure as the Stacks, even though there's a major price difference. And here on screen, you can see that the green text is basically what you get with each model that the previous one doesn't provide. So the S Plus, you still get a secure chip, a secure screen, and the clear signing. And the clear signing is kind of what we're talking about here with this attack. It allows you to read the transaction and understand it in a human readable way versus blind signing where you have no idea what you're signing. All Ledger devices offer this clear signing option. The Nano X is a step up from the S Plus. You get Bluetooth and rechargeable battery. The S Plus doesn't have Bluetooth or a battery. So you can use the Nano X, the Flex, and the Stacks with both your desktop and mobile device. Then you have the Flex. This is my personal favorite Ledger wallet. Comes with a 2.84-inch touchscreen, which looks like this. This is the Ledger Flex. And then it also has the near field communication and the recovery key. And then the Stacks is basically a larger version of the Flex, but it does cost a bit more. And that's why the Flex remains my favorite wallet. And again, if you buy the Flex, you get $70 in free Bitcoin. Plus you get the free recovery key, which comes with both the Flex and Stacks wallets now. And this is basically an offline key recovery card. So you can copy your seed phrase to this card. It's protected by a PIN that you create. And then it has a self-destruct mechanism after 3 failed PIN attempts. It completely erases, it erases itself. This isn't a replacement for your seed phrase, but it is an additional backup that makes it super convenient to recover your Ledger Flex or Stacks wallet without having to take out your seed phrase and risk exposing it. And again, this comes free with every Ledger Flex and Ledger Stacks wallet. It's $40 if you buy it on its own, or you can get it for free if you buy a wallet. And again, the links to these deals are in the description. Another wallet that I have listed in the description is Tangem, which is what I'm wearing on my hat. Tangem is also another great cold wallet, one that I usually recommend to beginners. And there is a discount on that wallet in the description. You get 10% off your entire order. Otherwise, there's the Ledger deals that I just went over. That link is in there as well. So I will go to the chat now and start answering some questions. Let me just bring up something here. Leave it on this. Okay. All right, let's go to the chat and see what's going on. Cami says, someone sent a spam text yesterday. Like, how do they get my phone number? It's sort of scary. I mean, yeah, if you've ever entered your phone number on the internet, then it's likely already compromised. Most anything you put out onto the internet will be compromised eventually. BC says, my MetaMask wallet, my MetaMask was on an older computer which crashed. I installed it on a new PC, but it doesn't tie back to the old one, so everything is missing. Fortunately, it's a small amount. BC, that's not how it works. You can't just download the MetaMask browser extension and expect to get your crypto back. You need to, when you download that new extension on your new computer, you need to recover your wallet by entering the seed phrase. That should look like a 12 or 24 word set of words, and that's the key to your crypto. That's what you'll need to enter. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Let me bring up some live chats. Thank you, or some super chats. Thank you for your donation. Tina Lou says, thank you, Cyrus Scrilla. Thank you so much, Tina, for that super chat. Very much appreciative and very generous of you. Thank you. Jesse says, is it safe to off-ramp some crypto to Fidelity and cold wallets from exchanges? How to do it safely? Thanks. You should be good to go now. And the way you do it is, I don't know if you know how to send crypto or not, but you copy the receiving address from the receiving wallet, paste it into the platform that you're sending crypto from. If you don't know how to do that, you should probably watch a video. If you type in how to send crypto to a cold wallet on YouTube, my video should pop up, and that should really explain how you send crypto. And thank you for your donation, Jesse. Very generous of you. Okay. Let's see. Hector says, would it be safe to revoke any contracts? No, I use Rabby Wallet, but use Keystone to approve transactions. So Hector, the fact that you have your Keystone wallet connected through Rabby, you're still signing transactions with your Keystone, which means the Keystone wallet is what's still at risk. When you sign a crypto transaction, a lot of them require a spend approval, and the spend approval is usually the contract that you revoke. And the spend approval basically tells the contract that, hey, you can take this amount of crypto, and in return, you'll give me this amount of crypto. Now, the thing is, these contracts can be malicious, or if they're ever compromised, they can turn malicious. And since a lot of spend approvals are unlimited, which means they basically exist forever, if that platform that you're using is compromised, then your wallet could still be drained. So even though that you're transacting or using Rabby through, with your Keystone wallet is the one that's still at risk. You don't want to be signing transaction approvals on like various websites with your main cold wallet, because again, you could sign a malicious transaction, or transactions that you have signed in the past and have given unlimited approval to could actually be compromised in the future. If you're interacting with DeFi and decentralized applications, you really need to have a separate wallet you're using to do that safely. So just use Rabby Wallet without Keystone. So yeah, your next choice would be to either revoke those approvals using something like revoke.cash, or keep that specific seed phrase as your kind of burner wallet, create a new seed phrase, and make sure you get all of your crypto over to that cold wallet. Because what you're essentially telling me is that you've taken your Keystone wallet and you've turned it into a hot wallet by signing these transaction approvals. A2Easy says, isn't it best to use a decentralized wallet? I don't know what you mean by a decentralized wallet. That sounds kind of just like a made up buzzword. The best thing you can do is to use a cold wallet. That's what I'll say. Richard says, hello, I have a question regarding transfer to funds from Coinbase to my new Tangem wallet. Thank you for the discount. Is it safe or wait? You're good to go, Richard. You're good to go transferring crypto from exchanges to your cold wallet, vice versa. Of course, as always, what you should always do, double check the transaction. Just verify that the Tangem address that you're sending to is the correct one. Write it down, whatever you need to do. Just check every character that make sure you're sending it to the right address. Jesse also asks, is using the clipboard to copy address safe with this going on? Yeah, you should be good. I don't think there's any relation with using the copy function to copy your address. I mean, that's how I copy my addresses. I would say that when you copy the address, make sure you're not copying it from like your recent transactions or anything like that. Always go to the receiving wallet, tap the receive button, and copy from there. That's the most secure way that you can do that. BC says, Cyberscrilla, how would this affect Tangem where you can't see the details prior to signing? You can see the details prior to signing. In fact, Tangem, it shows you all the details offline. It creates an example transaction offline before you approve the actual transaction. They've also partnered with Blockade to warn you of any potentially malicious transactions or contracts or websites that you're interacting with. So you approve Tangem transactions the same way you approve any transaction. You just look at your screen and confirm everything is accurate. Crypto JPEG says, thank you for the update. You're welcome. Just Denny says, thank God for Tangem Wallet. Absolutely. This person said, just got an email from Ellipal. They guarantee they can't get hacked. Yeah, Ellipal, I emailed them last night. I don't know if a lot of you saw my post. But Ellipal is not a wallet that I'm currently feel comfortable recommending anymore. They emailed me last night as well, saying that Ledger wallets were affected by the yesterday's attack, which is completely false. They tried to deceive me. They lied to me, and I called them out on it. They got defensive at first, and then they apologized about 4 times, saying that what they said didn't reflect Ellipal as a company, and the person who was sending the email, basically just messed up. It's a bunch of bullcrap. They also spammed one of my Ellipal videos with basically like spam bots commenting, basically saying that their wallet was like superior to the competition, which was super weird. I can't get behind those kind of like dirty marketing tactics, and I don't like when people, especially companies who I talk about and work with in some capacity, when they lie to me. So yeah, Ellipal to me is not a wallet that I'm currently recommending. I hope they can get their stuff together and not try to tear other people down in an attempt to make their own products look better. So Lemon Lucas says, do you have a discount code for Ledger? Again, that link in the description of this video will get you up to $80 worth of free Bitcoin when you buy a Ledger wallet. That deal does end today. However, I forgot to mention, if you use that link, you'll always get at least $10 worth of free Bitcoin, even when the deal ends. So there's that. Anthony says, thanks for the great update. 2:30 a.m. in Australia. Greetings. Awesome. Thank you, Anthony, for always being here in the streams. Just Denny says they fumbled. Yeah, absolutely. The attackers fumbled horrendously. Galadriel, hopefully I said that right, says, thank goodness I found Scrilla a year ago. Been following his sound advice. Hopefully they can catch this guy. Yeah, I think like this attack that happened yesterday is just a preview of what can happen and what's to come. Who knows? This could have all been a test. Maybe the real attack hasn't even started. I don't know. Matt said a meme coin trader supposedly got robbed for just under 1 million. That was the guy that I covered a second ago. His name is Alex Choy. This is the guy who got robbed for just under $1 million. Again, that's because he had his crypto stored on a hot wallet on his computer and not in a cold wallet. He could have easily avoided that. Let's see. Can I send my crypto from Trust Wallet to Ledger now? You should be good to go. Tina says it insane. If thieves put that energy into building something useful, our world would be a better place. Stay vigilant and check the destination address. Exactly. Steve says, what about Tangem safe? Yep, Tangem was not affected. Drew says, have a Trezor safe or have a Trezor 3, but considering a Coldcard now after this. Sure. I mean, just know that Coldcard is a Bitcoin only wallet, so you can only store Bitcoin on it. Maybe that's, exactly what you want. I will say that Bitcoin wallets are not actually more secure than a non-Bitcoin only wallet. This has been confirmed by a company the hardware wallet company, who told me that Bitcoin wallets are mainly a marketing tactic. It's not an actual security advantage. So I just want to make that clear. MG says, is it safe to transfer Bitcoin from Cash App to my Tangem wallet? Yes, it is. Jimmy Kush King says, I have sworn I saw an article Ledger's chipset has been compromised. Definitely not. Their chipset, if Ledger's chipset was compromised, that would mean the entire financial industry chipset is compromised, because they use the same chipset that is found in all of our bank cards and electronic passports. So that's definitely not the case. Crypto 2 says, I know you like them both, but if you could only have one, which would you take, Ledger Flex or Tangem? Again, it's really hard to choose between the two because they're both such different wallets. I still think Tangem is the easier wallet to use. It's more convenient and it's more beginner friendly. However, if you want a physical device that you can use on both your computer and your desktop, Ledger is the obvious choice because Tangem is a mobile only wallet. Tangem is more durable, so there's that to consider. So maybe if you travel a lot, you might want to go with Tangem versus Ledger would be a good like at home wallet. Probably not something I would travel with. And then also coin support. I think Tangem supports more networks than Ledger does. However, you can connect Ledger to other like software wallet apps for more coin support. But yeah, those are kind of the things that I would think about. It's really hard to choose between the two because I use them for different things personally. Original Paul ED says, how do I confirm all transaction info on Tangem with the latest version? It tells you the info when you go to sign a transaction. It tells you you're sending this amount to this address, and just double check that it's right. VMC Shoes, can I ask if Binance Wallet is safe? So if you're talking about in general, Binance Wallet is not a place you want to keep your crypto. That's a hot wallet. You don't want to keep your crypto on a hot wallet because they are prone to malware and various attacks. You want to get your crypto in a cold wallet. If you're referring to this specific attack affecting Binance Wallet, it did not. Heidi says, my exchange Robinhood is limiting my transactions and restricted me for a few days due to suspicious activity when I was attempting to move it. They restrict to 5K a day. Exactly, Heidi. That's the unfortunate downside of using crypto exchanges and keeping your crypto on an exchange. Moving forward, definitely, get all your crypto to a cold wallet, but I would consider using a different, more dedicated crypto exchange app, something like Kraken that has much higher withdrawal and transfer limits. Snap 2002 says, what's the deal with Trezor 3? Is it compromised? Nope, not that I know of. The Trezor Safe 3 is still good to go. 70 says, I have a Tangem wallet with an address that starts with EMTY. Should I be worried that someday it might get empty? Because it just seems fishy that a wallet would start with those letters. So the address, what an address starts with is specific to the network. Like, for example, Ethereum addresses start with 0x. Certain Bitcoin addresses start with BTC1. So EMTY would be specific to whatever network that crypto is on. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe I can do a quick search and see what that is. Dun, dun. Yeah, I guess I would need more context because I'm not too sure what that is. So I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer. Zach says, any concerns transferring from an exchange to a cold wallet? Nope, you're good to go now. John says, so now it's safe to use Tangem Wallet. It's always been safe to use Tangem Wallet. Tangem wasn't affected by this attack. Titty says, so are we at risk if we swap on Ledger Live? No, you're not. JJ Boy says, what's the best and safest cold wallet in your opinion for long-term storage? Best and safest are both very subjective in my opinion. It depends on your experience level and what devices you have at home and the compatibility you need. I would say in general for beginners, these two best cold wallets and the ones that I recommend the most are Tangem and the Ledger Flex. And both of those you can find more details on in the description of this live stream. There's links to both of those if you want to check those out. I also have entire playlists on this channel dedicated to both wallets if you want to learn more. Jim says, each transaction you lose some Satoshi. Why? Jim, anytime you transact on the blockchain, you do pay a network fee. This network fee is paid in the network's native cryptocurrency. So if you're transacting on the Bitcoin network, then those fees would be paid in Satoshis. So that's probably what you're saying. What's the difference between clear sign and blind signing? Clear signing isn't an option on Ledger. That's not true. Clear signing is an option on Ledger. In fact, I think Ledger was the one who actually came up with that exact term, clear signing. Blind signing is when you sign a transaction without knowing the full details. This is usually because it's displayed in some kind of cryptographic code that most people have no idea what the heck it says. Clear signing is the opposite. It's in a human readable format. You can see, what you're doing, how much crypto you're sending, who you're sending it to, and that's the main difference. Is Xamin wallet safe? Yes, it is. I don't think they were affected by the attack. Sol Goodman says, I noticed some micro dust in one of my hot wallets. What are the dangers of micro dust? Am I at risk? I think you're talking about a dusting attack. So a dusting attack is actually used so that scammers can track your wallet address and your movements. So maybe they'll send you a small amount of a crypto that you already have in your wallet, say USDT. But then when you send that USDT to a crypto exchange, for example, to cash out, they now know that you use that certain crypto exchange, and then they can start to social engineer and try to attack you. They can get a hold of your email and start sending you emails pretending to be the exchange that they use. So simply having that crypto in your wallet isn't an immediate threat. Just know that they can use it to try to social engineer their way into hacking you eventually. There's also the other side of like address poisoning, and this is when a scammer will send you will send tokens to your address, and it'll make it look like you made that transaction. They'll create a wallet address that looks similar to yours. They'll use the same, like the first 4 and last 4 of your wallet address, in hopes that when you send crypto, you'll actually copy that address from your transaction tab and send it to their address versus, using the receive button in your wallet. So those are the 2 main transactions, or the 2 main threats. Quentin says, is Phantom Wallet safe? Phantom Wallet is safe from the attack. However, again, you don't want to keep your crypto in a wallet like Phantom or any hot wallet. You really need to get it into a cold wallet. Crypto JPEG says, is wallet swap safe in Tangem? Yes, it is. Robinhood is limiting Heidi again. Yeah, I would definitely get in contact with Robinhood and try to get the that limit lifted so that you can get your crypto out of there and never use Robinhood again. All Kings or AI King says, is it safe to transfer crypto from Binance to Ellipal Card? You should be good to go. What do you think about Decent Wallet? So I also posted about this on the YouTube community tab. Decent Wallet is not a wallet that I recommend to anyone. I don't recommend it to my subscribers. I don't recommend it to my family or my friends, and I don't use it myself, even though I have one. Reason being is Decent is 100% closed source. So there's no way to confirm that anything the company claims, there's no way to confirm that's true. We don't have any security researchers or developers who can go and check the code because they keep that code private within the company. To me, I think there should be at least some level of open source code when it comes to cold wallets, whereas Decent is 100% closed source. And the reason you see YouTubers push this wallet is because Decent loves to pay YouTubers just to publish videos, and then they also pay them affiliate commission on top. So the reason you see a lot of YouTubers talk about Decent is because they're literally paying people just to publish videos. But personally, not a wallet I feel comfortable recommending. Juan says, what's your top 3 wallets? I'd say my top 3 wallet brands in no specific order. I would say Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, and I'll throw One Key in there. Those are my favorite brands. Now I also really like Engrave, but I think it's a pretty unique wallet. It does come with a lot of security features, so I don't think it's the best wallet for everyone, especially with its price tag of like $420 or something. But I do like Engrave as well. However, you don't need to spend that much money to have a good, secure, reputable wallet, in my opinion. Luis says, why is safer to distribute the crypto in several wallets if none has been hacked until today? So I'm not sure what you mean by if none has been hacked until today. Crypto has been getting hacked since 2011, probably even earlier. And the reason you want to diversify your crypto is in case something does happen to one of your wallets. This isn't just a security issue with your wallet, but this could be a user error. Most crypto compromises and hacks are the result of user error, not the actual wallet getting hacked. Now, I'm talking specifically about cold wallets. Very rarely do cold wallets actually get hacked. It's always a user error. That said, you can reduce the risk and the threat of making an error by putting your crypto into different baskets. That way, if you do mess up with one of your wallets, at least you don't lose all of your crypto. Looks like we got another super chat from Jesse. Thank you so much. Jesse says, I know the term "not your keys, not your crypto" may it be safer for newbies to use Fidelity or like a financial institution to buy and hold Bitcoin? What's your thoughts and safety wise? I would never do that. That's not something I'll ever recommend on my channel, because one of the main points of crypto is to basically be your own bank, to remain in full control of your crypto. And when you use other platforms, they ultimately have control of your crypto. I think for newbies, what they need to do is stop focusing on what coin should I buy, what coin's going to 100x tomorrow, how do I read charts, and I think they should focus on the fundamentals of how the technology works, so that they can just understand how to navigate the space safely. It's really not that difficult. At the end of the day, put your crypto on a hardware wallet. Don't share your seed phrase with anyone, and keep your hardware wallet cold by not connecting it to websites to transact. That's crypto security 101 wrapped up in a nutshell. It's really not that hard. I understand a lot of beginners overcomplicate it. That's why this channel exists. But it's really not that difficult to do. And I think if you're taking the time to invest money into something like crypto, you should probably take a little bit of time to understand at least the basics of how it works. If you're not willing to do that, I don't think it's for you. That's my opinion. Auta says, I've seen a give one, get two back on YouTube backed by Ripple. That's a scam. That's not real. That is a scam. Jim says, I noticed some tokens on my cold wallet, which I did not put there. How's that possible? What should I do? Jim, you don't, anyone can send you crypto to your wallet address. They don't need any kind of access to your wallet. It's like sending an email. Anyone who knows your email address can send you an email. They don't need access to your email account. It doesn't mean they have access to your email account. But because crypto wallet addresses are public information, it's all listed on the blockchain. Anyone can go and find a crypto address and send crypto to it. As far as what you should do, just ignore it. There's nothing you need to do. Your wallet's not at risk. Just don't interact with it and you'll be okay. CA Mono says, is this something that will be patched? What do I do if I have crypto on MetaMask? So there's no threat. The attack didn't affect MetaMask. That said, if you have crypto stored in a hot wallet like MetaMask, you need to get it out of there. Just having your crypto on a hot wallet is a risk in general, because hot wallets store the keys to your crypto in the software, which lives on your internet connected device like your phone or computer, which is at risk of being compromised if you were to download some kind of malicious code or malware or some spyware. So I'd recommend going to the description of this video and either get yourself a Ledger wallet or a Tangem wallet. Both of them have deals going on. And then if you need any help, just come back to my channel, and I have playlists on both of these wallet brands and how to use them safely and easily to protect your crypto. But get your crypto out of all hot wallets. I can't say it enough. Arun says, which cold wallet is best for beginners? Is there a risk in the process of transferring the token and coins? The best cold wallet for beginners, in my opinion, is either Ledger, the Ledger Flex specifically, which is this wallet, or the Tangem wallet, which you use with your phone. Tangem is going to be the easiest wallet to use, and there is a risk with transferring crypto. That main risk being you just want to make sure you send it to the right address on the right network, which is really straightforward to do. You just copy the address from the Tangem wallet. Like if you're sending ETH, you would copy the ETH receiving address from your Tangem wallet, paste it into the send spot on the exchange, hit send, and you're pretty much good to go. It's really as easy as sending an email with a couple small caveats. EGS says on most hot wallets, you can set contacts so you don't have to keep recopying the address. You can definitely do that. That's not something I personally utilize. I think it's always most secure to copy the address directly from the receiving wallet. Maybe I'm a little paranoid, but that's not something that I utilize or would like to use. AI King says, is Ellipal X card safe? I would say it is safe. I have reviewed it, I have used it, and I would trust to keep my crypto on it. However, as a company, Ellipal has really turned me off from their products, so probably not a wallet or brand that I'm going to be using, at least for the near future. Juan says, do you recommend using a second PC for crypto? I'm thinking about it, but it's too much work. Juan, you don't need to do that. As long as you're using a hardware wallet, that's all you need to do. That eliminates the having to use a different computer. That's completely pointless. It's more secure, more affordable, and a lot easier to just get a hardware wallet and use that to secure your crypto versus going through the steps of getting a second computer, which won't even secure your crypto. So yeah, not necessary in my opinion. Rick A says, talking about Tangem, I heard that the Tangem app is using NPM, so the app itself was affected. Can you confirm? That is completely false. Not to say that they don't use NPM, but just because an app or software uses NPM does not mean they were using the infected code. So that's completely false. Tangem was not affected by the attack at all. Was BitKey affected? No, it wasn't. Hector says, so by me connecting my hardware wallet to Rabbi, I pretty much put my hardware wallet seed phrase online. You didn't put the seed phrase online, but again, when you sign a transaction and you sign a spend approval, you are giving that specific contract access to that specific account. So if you signed a spend approval account from your Ethereum address from your Keystone wallet, and let's say that contract is compromised or it's a malicious contract and the spend approval was set to unlimited, it has access to that account in your wallet forever. So if that contract is ever compromised, they can literally go into your wallet and take your crypto because you've already approved them to do that. So it's not your seed phrase that's exposed; it's at a contract level, and it is specific to whatever address you signed that transaction with. Kevin says, and also the best way to get crypto is by mining everything yourself. I mean, there's not a lot of crypto you can mine right now, and with some crypto like Bitcoin, it's not really worth mining unless you're doing it on a large scale because you'll actually end up losing money. So I wouldn't say that's the best way to get in crypto necessarily. Let's see. I really want Tangent, but they don't have in-app ETH staking like Trezor has. Nope, they don't. Personally, not a huge concern to me. I don't think staking is worth it unless you have a lot of crypto to stake. I would much rather just sell my crypto for a profit when it goes up. That's probably the better move to make. You need to stake a pretty large amount to make decent returns. That's just my personal take. Maybe you do have a lot of ETH and you like staking it. But that's not to say that Tangent won't add ETH staking in the future. They're coming out with new staking options. It looks like every month almost, so maybe in the future. Naturally, me asked, does Tangem have a DeFi option? I don't know what that means. They don't have like an in-app browser, and you don't want that anyways in your cold wallet. You don't want to be connecting your cold wallet to decentralized applications or anything like that. You want to keep it cold by keeping it offline. That's the reason they don't offer an in-app browser. But I'm not sure exactly what you mean. You can buy, sell, swap, and stake natively in the Tangem app if you need to. Crypto Eagle says Blockstream Jade claim they're not affected. Yeah, no cold wallets were affected by this attack. Jade says assets on Tangem. Some say swap, others have only send and receive. Can I swap these two assets together if they're compatible? Yeah, you can do that. Do you trade meme coin? I want. I'm not going to comment on that. Impure says, "What about my? What about any of the Trezor models? I think you meant to say. No Trezor models were affected. Is Exodus Wallet safe to use? Exodus Wallet is good to go. It wasn't affected by the attack. However, do not store your crypto on a hot wallet like Exodus. Get it over to a harder wallet." Aragonox DX says, "I feel like the moment I move my crypto to my cold storage, the blow off the top will happen and I won't be able to swap into USDT quick enough." I don't see why that would be the case. I sell crypto on a pretty regular basis, and I can move it to my Kraken and have it sold to fiat currency in a matter of minutes. It's not just because it's in a cold wallet doesn't mean that it's hard to sell. It's actually pretty easy. You can also sell directly from the cold wallet if you need to. So. Ricardo says, "Wealth Simple is good to transact crypto, or Kraken is better. Getting your hook about the liquidity of transaction in Kraken, you just said." Ricardo, I haven't used Wealth Simple, so I can't comment on them. Kraken has been great. I love Kraken, and I don't keep any crypto on my Kraken account, to be clear. I only use Kraken to buy and sell crypto. I don't hold any crypto there. See, we got a couple more super chats from another one from Jesse. Thank you so much, Jesse. Jesse says, "Thank you for all you do for crypto. These live streams are great. Do you do them scheduled weekly, or are you thinking of doing them in the future?" I do plan to continue to do live streams at least once a week. I don't have a set day yet. Probably should get a set day, but for now, I'm just going to do them as I can. And thank you so much. Hector says nothing. He just wants to be generous. Thank you so much, Hector. I do appreciate your super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Got $1 million and no money for a harder wallet. Sounds unbelievable. He's referring to Alex Choy here on the screen, who is a crypto meme coin YouTuber, I guess, and his hot wallet recently got hacked for $996,000. A good example of why you should never store your crypto on a hot wallet or in a crypto exchange. QQ says, "So the attack is over." I wouldn't say it's over. I would say that it didn't affect many people though, and most of the wallets that we're using and all cold wallets are now safe to use. Daniel K says, "Decent harder wallet safe. I'm using it for a long time, but a little worried. Not a wallet I recommend, Daniel. They're 100% closed source. Not a wallet I feel comfortable using or recommending to any of you or my family or friends who I help with crypto either." Arun says, "Is it possible to send from one cold wallet to another cold wallet with a different brand without using a third party exchange?" Yeah, of course. You don't need to. Um, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate this. Like, you have to realize that crypto only exists in one place, which is a blockchain. So when you send it from an exchange or from a wallet to another wallet, anytime you send crypto, all you're doing is moving it from one blockchain address to another. How you do that doesn't matter. If you're using a crypto exchange and you're sending it to a cold wallet, it's still doing the same thing on the blockchain as if you're just sending it. There's only one method to send crypto. It's from one address to another. It's like sending an email. Like, just because someone uses Gmail and someone else uses Yahoo, it doesn't mean you can't send them a message, or you have to create a Gmail account to send someone a Gmail email. So yeah, you can send crypto from wallet to wallet. You can send crypto from exchange to exchange. You can send crypto from an exchange to a wallet. There doesn't need to be any kind of middleman in between that. A friend of mine lost over 9K in this mess. I thought it was all FUD. So your friend probably didn't lose 9K as a result of this attack. In fact, I know that person didn't, because we have access to the attacker's wallet and they only have $500 in there. Your friend probably messed up and made a user mistake and lost his crypto another way, which I'm sorry to hear that happened. But yeah, a lot of this can be easily avoided if you just, one, put your crypto in a hardware wallet, two, learn how to use that hardware wallet effectively by not connecting it to any websites. Is Exodus still safe to use and send funds to Cold Wallet? Yes, it is. Arun says, hi, Scrilla. I wonder why the info about storing your crypto on a cold wallet is not mainstream, although it's the most fundamental thing to do. I mean, crypto in general isn't really mainstream unless you're talking about like Bitcoin or ETFs or something. But yeah, it's because that's not the stuff that gets attention. The stuff that gets attention in crypto and gets mainstream coverage is any negative stuff. So anytime like a hack happens or new all-time highs, that's the only thing people care about. They care about making money. They don't actually care about the fundamentals or how to secure their crypto. That's why this guy, Alex Choy, who's a meme coin trader, lost $1 million. They just want to make money. They don't care about how the technology actually works and how to best secure your crypto. That's not exciting. That's not newsworthy. And that's not what gets the clicks at the end of the day. If you want to get clicks, you need to talk about, I mean, you really need to focus on fear or making a lot of money in the crypto space. Who were all affected by the malware? We don't have a list. However, only a few people were compromised. The hacker only got $500 out of this entire attack. Daniel says ENS can solve address poisoning, right? No, it can't. That has nothing to do with address poisoning. Juan says, how do they create an address similar to another one? You're referring to the address poisoning. There are tools that you can use to generate addresses, and you can basically tell the tool what first four and last letters you want that address to be, and it will create something like that. Do we need to worry about privacy settings or apps on new laptops with new ledger setup? They're not going to affect how your ledger device is used or how secure your ledger device is, because your ledger wallet is completely offline. Anthony says solo dex. I don't know what that is. Love says, I transferred over 30K Pepe coins to my Tangem wallet. Only 5K showed up. It said the transaction was successful. Do you have an idea of what happened? I don't. Are you talking about like just 30,000 Pepe coins? Or are you talking about $30,000 worth? I don't quite know. And that's hard to answer without actually seeing the transaction details. So I don't have an answer for you. Bet Vegas says, what about BC Vault? So I have a BC Vault wallet. I think BC Vault will protect your crypto. I'm just not a fan because it doesn't have a seed phrase, and I don't like using wallets without a seed phrase. Kim says, when you buy crypto, where is a crypto before you send it somewhere? Crypto only exists on the blockchain. It doesn't exist outside of the blockchain. Someone says, is Lace wallet safe? I read Cardano wallets are in Haskell and not NPM. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what the Lace wallet is. Already answered that question. How safe is my wallet if I use a hardware wallet and connect it with a software wallet like Leap with QR codes? If you're signing transactions, you're turning your hardware wallet hot. All you're doing when you connect your hardware wallet to a software wallet app is, instead of using the wallet's native app like Ledger Live, you're just using something like Leap or whatever it may be. The fact that you're still signing transaction with your hardware wallet means that your hardware wallet is still at risk if that transaction or that contract that you sign is ever compromised. So it's safe in general to do, but in general, it's not safe to connect your hardware wallet to websites and sign transactions. Nemo says also Tangem Dead said ADA and TON staking is coming and they're about to make stablecoin blockchain linear ideas. TON staking is already available with the most recent 5.27 update. So that's already live. ADA staking, yes, it is coming. And I haven't heard about stablecoin blockchain lending yet. So that sounds interesting. What if someone sends you something like Doge and you already have Doge? Can you no longer interact with Doge in your wallet? No, you're fine to still interact with it. It just means that they're going to basically track where your crypto goes. Like if you send it somewhere else, they'll be able to see where you send it, so they can start basically targeting you. It's not a risk just to send it, and there's not really any way to avoid it either. So. Meyer Dead says, do you have any information which exchanges or wallets were compromised with this hack from yesterday? Where did the attacks take place? We don't have any information on that, but it appears that all the crypto exchanges and popular hot wallets weren't affected, and no cold wallets were affected. I didn't see the Tangem update in the App Store. Is it out yet? The most recent Tangem update is still from a couple weeks ago. It's 5.27. That's we're still waiting on 5.28. It does make sense that Bitcoin maxis would push Airgapped as safest secure wallets, so they have a bigger dog in the fight marketing wise. Yeah, Airgapped is another thing like Bitcoin wallets. It's not actually any more secure than a non-Airgapped wallet. In fact, Airgapped wallets are usually just overcomplicated to use, but they don't actually provide any more security. JFTX says, when you stake with Kraken or other exchanges, your coins stay on exchange and you cannot move to cold wallet. Is that correct? And if this case, what has happened if they get hacked? That is correct. And if they get hacked, then it kind of just depends, but they could potentially gain access to those staked coins because they have control over the wallets that are in control of your assets. So yeah, if you have your crypto staked on an exchange right now, I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You should really get your crypto into a hardware wallet. Alex and Jay says, is a hot wallet a good idea to use as a go-between with websites and exchanges? I don't know what you mean by that. If you're saying you need to transfer your crypto to a hot wallet, like from your cold wallet before it goes to an exchange, you don't need to do that. That's completely useless and doesn't do anything for security or privacy. All you're doing is wasting money on fees. If you're saying use a cold wallet to interact with DeFi platforms instead of or use a hot wallet to interact with DeFi platforms instead of your cold wallet, yes, that is what you want to do. Ignacio says, if you want to use most of your crypto for DeFi, how should you use cold hot wallets? It depends on what you mean by DeFi. But if you're interacting to various websites and signing transactions and things like that, my suggestion would be to only have the amount of crypto that you need in that hot wallet to do those transactions. And once you have the crypto purchase or whatever, you need to send it to your cold wallet for safekeeping until you're ready to trade it again. Lynn says, if Exodus wallet has been compromised, what do I do? Is all the crypto in a wallet at risk? Would it be safe to send it to my Flex at this point if I have been compromised? So the attack didn't affect Exodus wallet, to be clear. That said, you should absolutely move all your crypto to your Ledger Flex wallet. If your wallet is compromised because of something else, then absolutely, you should get your crypto out of there immediately. HV800 said, can you recover a Keystone wallet with a Tangem wallet seed phrase? Yes, you can. Anta Karana says, was Decent effective? Is that wallet safe? Decent wasn't affected by the attack, and it's not a wallet that I recommend because it is 100% closed source. So not a wallet that I'd personally use. Juan says, with Tangem, is it possible to have two wallets, one that you use for DeFi and interacting with contracts, another one that never touches any of that? Absolutely. You can add as many sets of Tangem wallets to your one Tangem app, and you can easily switch between them by just swiping at the top of the screen. So if you want to have multiple Tangem wallets and use one for your savings account and one as your DeFi wallet, you can easily do that, all in the same app. 70 says, for Tangent wallets, do you recommend setting up with the seed phrase or having the seed phrase or setting up seedless? Personally, I like to know my seed phrase. If you don't have your seed phrase, you are relying solely on the technology, on the cards as your only backups to secure your crypto. Meaning, if all those cards were damaged for some reason or you lost them all, which might be unlikely, you would lose access to all your crypto. Versus if you have your seed phrase, which you can create as many copies of as you want and store them in various locations, you will always have access to your crypto. I'm thinking about getting a second Ledger device with a different seed phrase. How do I get both devices under the same Ledger Live? When you get your new Ledger device, you just connect it to Ledger Live the same way you connected your first one. And I mean, it's really that easy. You can only access one at a time, but you can use the same Ledger Live app to access all your Ledger wallets. You don't need to do anything different. Matthew says, my question is, what if somehow you had spyware or malware on your phone when you generated a seed phrase on Tangem? You would be at risk if I'm not mistaken. No, the way that the Tangem app is designed, like spyware and malware doesn't affect it. As far as the seed phrase, it can't see that information. And I've kind of showed example of this. If you go through the setup process with your seed phrase on Tangem and you try to take a screenshot or you record the screen with your phone, do a screen record, and then you play back the video or look back at that photo, it actually shows up blank. And this is just an example of some of the security measures they have implemented in the Tangem app. So the Tangem app is unaffected by malware and spyware. Ian Soph says, how can someone approve a transaction if they don't have a seed phrase? How can they make a contract that steals the assets in the future and not when signing? So the way a malicious contract works, again, is they're not approving the transaction. The user of the hardware wallet is. When you sign transactions, you generally sign something called a spend approval. This is an agreement that the contract that you're signing, you're allowing it to take crypto out of your wallet. Now, usually this is safe. However, if it's malicious and you sign an unlimited spend approval, which gives that contract unlimited access to the wallet for an unlimited amount of time, then that contract forever has access to the crypto in that account. So if that contract is ever compromised, you've already given them access. You've already said, you can take my crypto. So it's not them approving the transaction, it's you. VGTV says, what's the new info? Go rewatch the live stream. I covered all that in the beginning. Ken says, do you have a Patreon channel? I do not. SD Percussion says, any issues with holding on a centralized exchange for a little while if dollar cost averaging to do batches of transfers to keep fees down? I mean, that's really up to you to decide. If that's been working for you and you're safe and you feel comfortable doing that, then I would say keep doing that. It sounds like you're still ultimately getting your crypto onto a cold wallet, which is the main goal. But I wouldn't keep any large chunks personally on an exchange. So Maury says, Keystone 3 Pro, Ledger Flex, or Trezor Model T. Which one would you recommend more? So I don't recommend the old Trezor wallets because they don't have the secure element chip, which basically just makes them, they're not as secure as the new Safe 3 and Safe 5 models that have the secure element chip that are now immune to physical brute force attacks, whereas the older models aren't. So I wouldn't recommend the Trezor T or even the Model 1 personally. Keystone 3 Pro is a good secure wallet, not one that I'd ever recommend to beginners. It's not the most user-friendly and it's not really that enjoyable to use. So I would definitely go Ledger Flex out of those three, no doubt. Brian Q Quinn says Ledger offers a recovery service for $99 fee for 3 years. Is it worth it? That's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable managing your own seed phrase and you think you're someone who not anything against you, but maybe you're busy and you don't want to be responsible for managing your seed phrase, or you don't think you're responsible enough to keep track of it, then it could be a good option for you. Basically, what they do is they take your seed phrase or your private key, they double encrypt it, split it into 3 shards, and send it to 3 different entities in 3 different areas of the world. So that way, if you ever lose the keys to your wallet, you can recover access by using your physical Ledger hardware wallet. So it kind of depends. It could be worth it. It could not. It's not something I personally use, but I know a lot of people use it. Hector says, I'm in Aave locked with a loan and use Uniswap. Those are the only apps I use. So would it be best to revoke everything, then withdraw everything from Aave to another address? It kind of depends, Hector, what you want to do. But if you revoke contract approval, you don't need to move your crypto to another address because you've already revoked those approvals. That said, from the sounds of it, you won't be able to lock your crypto with a loan if you remove it out of the loan, obviously. So I think you need to decide the level of risk you're willing to take. If you want to keep your crypto locked, that's up to you. Just understand that there are risks with doing that. Luis says, transfer crypto to correct address. Is there still a chance it is lost due to a blockchain issue? Thank you for your great channel. No, if you send crypto to the correct address on the correct network, you're not going to lose your crypto. I think I skipped a couple. I'll come back. If Ledger goes broke, where do you personally move to? So if a Ledger or if a hardware wallet company ever fails, you just take the seed phrase from that wallet and you can import it into a different brand of wallet to gain access to your crypto. I don't know if that's kind of what you're asking, but that's how you do it. Kathy says, could this hack malware be dormant considering it was downloaded a billion times? How can anyone feel secure? So to be clear, Kathy, this malware was downloaded by developers, not necessarily by users. Developers are the one who use the code that was affected, and most of the developers have since removed that code. So what you'd want to do is make sure that your apps are up to date and your browser extensions are up to date, and that would be my best advice. John says, I'm a victim of a recent malware crisis. How do I get the malware out of my phone? John, you could you factory reset your entire phone. This will erase everything from the phone. You could also just buy a new phone. Kind of depends on what you want to do. AI King says, what do you mean you should be good to go when I asked you if it was safe to transfer crypto from Ellipal X card cold wallet right now? Should I wait or you're good to go? That means go for it. That's what that means. Jack says, as I understand it, a contract can include a provision to allow for unlimited withdrawal amount at any time after signing the contract. True? Yes, that is 100% true. That is what a contract approval is. That's called a spend approval. And these contracts can be malicious and is the reason why people can take your crypto from your wallet, even if they don't have physical access to your wallet or your seed phrase. Jesse says, is it safe to use a Trezor Assist feature where they help you set up for the first time for a fee? I would say in general, that's safe. It's a service that Trezor offers. Not something that I would personally ever do, but yeah, you can definitely do that. So let me just see here, check a couple things. I think I already answered this question. How do we recover the wallet if Ledger goes out of business? You take your seed phrase and enter it into another brand of wallet. If there is a blackout, when restored, will crypto be safe or lost? Last question. I don't know what you mean by a blackout, but the blockchain, everything that's on the blockchain is permanent. It can't be erased or removed. So Linda says, "Is it easy to update the Tangem wallet?" So Linda, you don't need to update the Tangem wallet like most other wallets that require firmware updates. All you have to do is update the Tangem app on your phone, which is just like updating any app on your phone. You can even set your phone to do automatic updates. So yeah, it's the most easy wallet to update. Christopher says, "What wallets do we know were affected?" No wallets that we know of were affected specifically. Charms says, "Why don't you recommend Decent Wallet? Because it's a 100% closed source wallet, meaning there's no way to verify that anything they claim is true." Ricky says, "Can I send coins from Tangent to Kraken now?" Yes, you can. Christopher says, "So basically, it's risky to interact with any trading or DeFi at this moment, even though Keystone and some wallets say they check their code, but still careful." That's not correct, Christopher. I'm not talking about this attack when I'm talking about interacting with DeFi. In general and always, it's not recommended to interact with DeFi platforms using your cold storage wallet because you're taking your cold wallet and turning it into a hot wallet. If you want to interact with DeFi platforms, either use a completely separate hardware wallet or just use a hot wallet. But by interacting with these DeFi platforms and signing contract approvals, you are exposing your wallet to potentially malicious transaction approvals that could drain your wallet. This has always been the case. This isn't specific to an attack. This is just a hack that happens often. Linda says, "Do you have to use the same seed phrase across different cold wallets?" No, you don't. You can have a different seed phrase in every cold wallet. Richard says, "Is it okay to open Tangent Wallet today?" It always has been okay. The cold wallets weren't affected by the attack. Jack says, "How does one check that signing a contract approval transaction doesn't allow the recipient to drain my account afterwards?" A lot of wallets will have like Tangem and Ledger. It'll tell you if a transaction is potentially malicious. However, you can't always rely on that stuff. Sometimes you won't know until it happens, and that's why I say just don't use a cold wallet to do that. Use a completely separate wallet because sometimes it's if you're interacting with various websites, especially if they're new websites, it might be impossible to avoid. So that's why I say always use a completely separate wallet when you're signing a contract approval. Don't use your main cold storage wallet. HV800 said, "If I buy two 3-pack Tangem cards, can I make 3 wallets with the seed phrase?" Yes, you can. You have that exactly right. Since all you need is 2 cards to set up 1 wallet. If you get 2 3-packs, you have 6 cards. So you got 2 cards per wallet with their own seed phrase. You can do that. Arvin says, "I just got on this live stream. Can you repeat which wallets to stay away from real quick?" None of them. They're all good to go. Lemon Lucas says, "Can you send crypto from Tangem to a Flex?" Yes, you can. You can send crypto from any wallet to any wallet as long as it supports that crypto. Usif says, "I thought Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts." I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm just talking about smart contracts in general, Ethereum, Solana, yada, yada. Do you still recommend Trezor Cold Wallet after this attack, or should I switch to another wallet? There's nothing wrong with continuing to use Trezor. They wasn't affected by the attack. Victory V says, "Thanks for helping us and keeping us informed. I'm shocked that others haven't done the same for their followers." Yeah, I'm happy to share this breaking news and to warn people to get their crypto to a hardware wallet. Is it safe to send crypto from Coinbase to my Ledger wallet, or will it open my cold wallet up to an attack? No, that doesn't open your cold wallet up to an attack. You should move your crypto from Coinbase to your wallet. Have they cracked Tangem? Nope. Tangem is safe. The real says, how do I know which Tangem wallet is the 1.0 or 2.0? So any of the cards on the main website, on the main page, those are all the 2.0 cards. Unless you get some like older crypto specific wallet, like that's designed with like there's like a crypto design on the card. It's going to be the 2.0 wallet. All the wallets they sell on their main website are the 2.0 versions. PJ Rising says, should I delete my current MetaMask wallet and create a new one just to be safe? Absolutely not. That doesn't even make any sense to do. That wouldn't do anything for you. VGTV says, when you send crypto from an exchange to Tangem, do you always check every character in the address? I could have sworn the first and last 5 digits were unique with a chance of another address. Yeah, you should always check. I mean, personally, I would always check. The first digits someone can create an address with the first like 4 to 5 digits of your address. So I would definitely check. If I swap Dogecoin to XRP on Coinbase Exchange, should I revoke cash or not needed? You can't even do that because that's a little different. Coinbase is completely separate from your wallet. It doesn't interact with your wallet, and you don't even have the ability to revoke contract approval because you're not transacting from a wallet. You're transacting from Coinbase platform. They control the wallets. You don't. I bought 2 Tangem cards today. Where's the best place to hold them? I don't know. That is up to you to decide. I don't know if you want to hide them somewhere in your house or outside of your house, preferably in a secure location. Andre says, so go from cold wallet to a software wallet. Not sure what you mean by that, but you can safely transfer crypto between a cold wallet and a software wallet without any issues. New to crypto, is the smaller crypto you get on MetaMask be moved to Ledger? Is the smaller crypto you get on MetaMask? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you could clarify, if you're asking, can you move that crypto to Ledger? And if you should, I would say yes. You should get all of your crypto off of hot wallets. Those are not a place to keep your crypto. RRB says, can you recover from a 25-word seed phrase to a Tangem if they only do 24 words? RRB Tangem does support the 25th word seed phrase. When you go to other options and tap import recovery phrase, there is a spot to enter your 24-word seed phrase. And below that, there is a spot for a passphrase, which is the 25th word seed phrase. Usif says, don't worry about hackers are only going after people with more than half a Bitcoin. That is not true. I have met plenty of people who have lost anywhere from a few $100s to several $1,000s. So I've also met people who have lost nearly 100K. Arvin says, another question. So a secure way to interact with a DeFi platform is to use a hot wallet on my phone and then transfer my coins to a cold wallet. Is there a better way? I would say that's definitely one good option. The only other option I would say is you could have like another hardware wallet you use for your DeFi wallet. So you basically have 2 hardware wallets. One is your main savings account, and the other one is for interacting with DeFi platforms. But yeah, the ultimate goal with doing that, with using 2 different wallets, is to reduce the risk of and not exposing your main crypto portfolio to any potential malicious transactions. Can I hold Tangem card among debit cards in the wallet? You can. Not sure if that's something you want to do. I don't know how safe it is to walk around with your Tangem wallet. I mean, you can definitely do it. I'm not going to lie. I have done it. So yeah, you can do it. I mean, like this is my first Tangem card that I ever got. I think, yeah, this is it. And you can see it's kind of starting to peel a little bit. This has been in my wallet for a long time in various locations. So personally, I haven't had any issues with it. PJ Rising said, I bought 3 Tangem cards back in February 2024, but never used them. Will it automatically be updated? So you just need to update the app on your phone. If you download the app today, then it's going to download the most recent version. Otherwise, you would just go to your app store and tap update wallet and you'll be good. That said, I don't know if that wallet you bought is the 1.0 or 2.0 version. If it looks like this card, it's the 1.0 version, and you can't generate a seed phrase. If it looks like this card, then it's the 2.0 version. Either way, both are fine to use. And both, all you have to do to update is just download the most recent version of the Tangem app. Matthew says, do you use passphrase on your cold wallet seed phrases? Yes, I do for certain wallets. Usif says, just stick with Bitcoin and you're safe. Not necessarily. There's a lot more than just sticking to Bitcoin that makes it safe. You have to know how to securely store and manage your Bitcoin. Also, in my opinion, it's very closed-minded to say that Bitcoin is the one and only crypto to all your problems. There's a lot more opportunity in the crypto space. If Bitcoin is your thing, that's cool. But I definitely do not agree with that take. Microwave this says, I'd imagine all the dust left behind in the world's wallets equals millions, possibly. What are your thoughts on the Gemini XRP credit card? I don't really have any thoughts. I'm not a credit card user. Sorry, I meant to ask, will Ledger hold smaller coins from MetaMask like BNB Tiger or WKC? Yes, absolutely. Just to clarify, if you want to check what coins a wallet supports, you just go to the wallet's website. Like go to Ledger's website. I have the link in the description of this live stream, or go to Tangem's website. And somewhere on the page, there will be like a coin support tab. You can tap there, and then you can actually search for your specific cryptocurrency. However, I will say, like if a wallet supports a certain blockchain network, then it supports all the tokens that live on that network. For example, if BNB Tiger is on the BNB blockchain, if a wallet supports the BNB blockchain, then it supports BNB Tiger, because tokens like meme coins and stuff, they're all just tokens that exist on blockchain technology. So like Pepe is a meme coin on Ethereum, even though a wallet might not specifically say it supports Pepe meme token, but it supports the Ethereum network. It does support Pepe meme token because it lives on Ethereum. Hopefully that makes sense. Cass Big Diesel says, is the Coldcard good exclusively for Bitcoin? I'm just not a fan of the Coldcard wallet. It's just not a wallet that I use because I hold more than Bitcoin. I mean, I'm sure it's fine and secure to use, but I would choose other wallets over Coldcard personally before I would ever go with Coldcard. Something like Ledger would be my choice above Coldcard. Arvin says, another question, what are your recommendations for mobile cold wallet apps that can be installed on a thumb drive? I have checked a couple. I don't know why or what you mean by wallet apps that can be installed on a thumb drive. And I've never done that myself, but like popular mobile wallets include MetaMask, Phantom, Trust Wallet. So yeah. Greg says, so are we safe to keep Tangem, Ledger, or Trezor crypto and not send any transactions? Greg, you're good to go. You can send transactions and no wallets are affected at this time. Caspig Diesel says, I'm hearing anything Airgapped is better than anything. That's not true. Airgapped is pure marketing. It's not actually more secure than a non-Airgapped wallet. This has been proven. There was a study done by Shift Crypto, who is a creator of the Bitbox hardware wallets. In fact, Airgapped wallets can actually be less secure because they're more difficult to use, more overcomplicated than something that's not Airgapped. So yeah, that's not true that Airgapped is more secure. Arvin says, is there any signs you might have malware on your phone or desktop that can steal your crypto? That's kind of a loaded question. I mean, there are signs like your device could be running slower than normal. You could get a lot of pop-ups, but a lot of the times you won't know you have malware on your computer until it's too late, unless you're using some kind of malware software. There were rumors that Tangem cards stop working when you hold them in your wallet. That's why it's called a rumor. I don't think that's true. Like I said, I've held my card in my wallet for a long time. I've been using it for over 2 years, and it still works perfect. Arvin says, if you're in or near Denver, I'll buy you a beer or lunch. I appreciate your content. I appreciate that offer. I'm not in or near Denver, but I do appreciate your offer. V Cypher says, how many Tangem wallets do you personally use? Which one is your preferred choice? So I actively use 3 to 4 Tangem wallets. I have 7 total sets of Tangem wallets, but I actively use about 3 to 4. And I use them with the seed phrase. I do have my original one is a seedless wallet. That's because it doesn't support a seed phrase. And I do use this one still, but I mainly use them with the seed phrase. Zach says, thoughts on Trezor? I like Trezor. It's a good wallet. Gregory says, I'm staking from a cold wallet, stay from hacks. I would go watch my video. If you type in how to stake crypto on YouTube, go watch that video, and I break down the risks of staking your crypto. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for an hour and a half here. If you're just joining, just make sure to rewatch the live stream, and I cover basically the update on this. But I do gotta get going. So I appreciate everyone who joined. Thank you for all the great questions. Remember, get your crypto in a hardware wallet immediately. I have links to 2 of my favorite and best hardware wallets for beginners in the description of this video, Ledger and Tangem. So definitely check out those links. And I'll see you on another live stream probably next week. And I'll let you know if there are any more updates. So thanks for watching. God bless and peace out.